Welcome one, welcome all to the 2018 WillFoxification Movie Awards Show, the second award show in our long-running and obviously prestigious history. Before we get too far into things, I just want to take the time to say thank you to everyone who showed up for tonight's show. We actually have some extra special guests here tonight. It looks like Kylo Ren is here, interestingly in his old attire from episode 7 and not episode 8. Interesting choice there. I'm sure that will be in a fashion article somewhere tomorrow. And Loki also showed up for tonight's events. The costume looks good, but something looks a bit off with the hair. We're actually gonna have to verify that's Loki because our security team isn't the best based on the budget we got. And is that Tommy Wiseau? Wow, what a story. If everyone loved like Tommy, the world would be a better place to live. But he'd probably tell me to keep my stupid comments in my pocket. Either way, we got an excellent show for you guys tonight, and it is sure to get political, because I know everyone just loves it when award shows never talk about the art and the performers, but rather current and social events that drag you right back into the hellhole that is politics. But before we do that, let me provide you an overview of the award show tonight. We have 13 major categories and 13 awards to give out, and you know what? Let's bypass all that other shit and the rest of the opening monologue where I talk about politics and all that stuff because you guys don't really care anyway. We're gonna kick things off with our first category of the evening, Best Supporting Actress. Now this category has 5 nominees that gave excellent performances in 2017. These 5 brought so much life to their films, either through extremely formal characters, extremely likable ones, or extremely flawed ones. Many overlook-
Ooh, you suck!
What the hell? I'm trying to host here, Jesus. Anyway, let's take a look at our 5 nominees for Best Supporting Actress. Sylvia Hoeks, Blade Runner 2049. Holly Hunter, The Big Sick. Allison Janney, I, Tonya. Leslie Manville, Phantom Thread. And Laurie Metcalf, Lady Bird. And the wheel goes to... Allison Janney, I, Tonya. Allison Janney was excellent in I, Tonya as the ruthless and somewhat cruel mother of Tonya Harding. Allison Janney really transformed herself into a character that was very easy to hate, but at the same time very easy to be impressed by. She was funny, she was incredibly flawed, and kind of crazy, but there was a sense of humanity to her as she wanted her child to be exceptional. I think this type of layered performance from Allison Janney is one of the best I've seen from a supporting actress in the last few years. She was a total scene stealer and is well deserving of this award tonight. She couldn't be here to accept, sadly. Alright, so our second award of the evening is, you guessed it, Best Supporting Actor. Now this category is very, very strong this year. One of the more difficult ones to narrow down to 5 because there were just a lot of great performances and a lot of great ones to choose from. So you know these 5 really earned it because of how tough the competition was. Let's take a look at the 5 nominees for Best Supporting Actor. Daniel Craig, Logan Lucky. Willem Dafoe, The Florida Project. Armie Hammer, Call Me By Your Name. Christopher Plummer, All the Money in the World. And Bill Skarsgård, It. Wow, cut the music guys, cut the music. We have history in the making here. History, this is the first time this has ever happened in the history of the WillFoxification Movie Award Show. We have a tie. Armie Hammer, Call Me By Your Name, and Bill Skarsgård, It. Armie Hammer certainly deserved this award because he delivered a performance in Call Me By Your Name that is completely outside his comfort zone, and boy did it work. His work as Oliver is the finest of his young career and will take him in a whole new direction because of how fantastic he was in this movie. His charisma and charm was a big part of the love connection he had with Elio, and it did wonders for the film. Similar things can be said about Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise. Many people had never heard of him before this role, including myself, but after this I have a feeling he's going to become a household name. He was terrifying and brought so much personality to this version of Pennywise. He's terrifying, but he's also very much a scene stealer. Because of his excellent work, he is also very much deserving of this award tonight. Alright, so our next award of the evening is for Best Cinematography. And you guys know I'm a sucker for excellent visuals. I bring up cinematography a lot in my reviews because when it's done right, it can add so much personality and even immersion to a movie experience. Whether it be a drama or an action-packed experience, your movie can't achieve too highly without well-done visuals. With that said, let's take a look at the 5 nominees for Best Cinematography. Blade Runner 2049, Call Me By Your Name, Dunkirk, It Comes the Night, and Wind River. And the wheel goes to... Blade Runner 2049. Although I didn't love the total package of Blade Runner 2049, I can't deny the excellence of its visual offerings. The cinematography work by Roger Deakins is mind-blowingly good here, and it helps add such a strong sense of atmosphere, and of course personality to this film. There's so many excellently composed shots and unique lighting setups that make this film feel both more dramatic and more mysterious. Blade Runner 2049 is one of the better shot films I've seen in a while. Alright, so next up on the docket is Best Music or Score. Music either composed or arranged for a film can make a world world of difference. Bad music can distract you, but excellent music can heighten your experience a remarkable amount. When working in tandem with the visual offerings, music can make you feel that much more invested in the story. With that said, let's take a look at the 5 nominees for Best Music or Score. Call Me By Your Name, Coco, Dunkirk, John Wick Chapter 2, and Phantom Thread. And the wheel goes to... Coco. It's not surprising that a film with music as a major player and a major theme won this award tonight. Coco incorporated excellent musical offerings that not only sounded beautiful, but also helped give the film an identity. There's sad songs, happy songs, a mixture of both, and ultimately the music in this film never grows tiresome. It's amazingly crafted, and it's a large part the movie as a whole was so great. The next award of the evening is for Best Visual Effects. When it comes to visual effects, they can make or break an experience. Bad effects can completely take you out of the experience, but good ones can make you feel like you're a bystander in a vibrant and exciting universe. Our 5 nominees for Best Visual Effects are Blade Runner 2049, Ghost in the Shell, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, War for the Planet of the Apes, and Thor Ragnarok. And the wheel goes to... Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell was not a movie I was really looking forward to seeing, but I ended up really loving it. A big reason for that was because of how insanely vibrant and lively the world was. I thought this was one of the best visual experiences I've had in a while, over the last several years for sure. I loved how this world looked and all its futuristic elements, and Ghost in the Shell is a visual marvel, and I was consistently blown away with how cool it looked. Alright, so we're going to take a break now to hear from our sponsors. I know you don't want to hear ads, but that's how we keep the lights on. We'll be right back. Are you constantly worried about your own safety? If so, look no further than Sage Candy Rain's Unicorn Protection Service. Our top-of-the-line security agency offers something that our competitors simply do not, and that's peace of mind that you have a unicorn watching your six. Could you imagine anyone fucking with you when you roll up to the club with a jacked unicorn like this? The answer is no. No one is gonna mess with you, and you're gonna be the toughest looking guy or gal in the joint. Call the number on the screen to reserve a consultation with one of our security unicorns so you can begin to feel safer. No other security service will offer you peace of mind like Sage Candy Rain's Unicorn Protection Service. With a unicorn by your side, ain't nobody gonna mess with you. Woo, doggy, this is your main man Leroy here today, and I have an opportunity of a lifetime for all you WillFoxification fans out there. Considering you're into movies and all, I thought this would be an excellent time to inform you about a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And that opportunity is Leroy's Bootleg DVDs. The name just rolls off the tongue, don't it? Woo, doggy. We got all your favorite movies, some of the most critically acclaimed and best rated movies you could ever watch. And the best part is how dang cheap they are. We sell our DVDs for $2.50 a pop, and you ain't never gonna beat that price anywhere but Leroy's. Now get yourself off that daggone computer and come on down to Leroy's Bootleg DVDs, located on Chicken Gristle Road. You come down now, you hear? Alright, I hope you enjoyed those words from our sponsors. Great stuff and great products right there. Now we're going to transition to some broader film categories. Our first one is Best Comedy Film. And while I don't think this was an amazing year for comedy, it certainly wasn't a terrible one either. There were some movies that really made us moviegoers laugh and enjoy our time at the theater. And with that said, let's take a look at our 5 nominees for Best Comedy Film. I, Tonya, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, Logan Lucky, The Big Sick, and The Disaster Artist. And the wheel goes to... I, Tonya. I just saw I, Tonya recently and I fell in love with it. I especially liked how effectively it mixed comedy into a story that for the most part is full of very serious themes. I think there's a ton of really funny moments that honestly shouldn't be as funny as they are. They're funny because Craig Gillespie had a vision and the actors have some serious comedy skills at their disposal. I, Tonya has a harsh and sort of awkward sense of humor, but it works tremendously. As far as comedies go, I, Tonya leads the pack for 2017. Alright, so moving on to our next award of the night, Best Horror or Thriller Film. What's interesting about this is when I looked back at the nominees from 2016, I realized that 2017 actually delivered us a handful of really excellent horror thriller films. These films did suspense, tension, and of course scares better than any other movies from 2017 and what was a good year, and I'm happy to nominate them tonight. Here's the 5 nominees for Best Horror or Thriller Film. Get Out, It Comes at Night, Life, and Mother. And the wheel goes to... It. It was just an excellent movie all around to me, and it's one of the best movies of the year period, not just one of the best horror thrillers. I think it succeeded at being scary and suspenseful, but it separated itself from the pack by also delivering likable characters, and an excellent standout performance from its main antagonist obviously. It was an exceptionally done horror thriller, one of the best ever in my opinion, and I loved every second of its awesomeness. Next up is Best Animated Film. Animated films hold a special place in my heart, well the great ones do at least, because as an adult I think many of us tend to feel that a lot of animated films exclude us because we're not the primary demographic, and often that's the case. But there's a select few great animated films that offer something for everyone. This year I had a handful of these type of films, and they deserve recognition for that. Let's take a look at our 5 nominees for Best Animated Film. Captain Underpants, Cars 3, Coco, Ferdinand, and the Lego Batman movie. And the wheel goes to Coco. Coco was the hands down clear winner for me in this category. I was moved by how well crafted Coco was and how it tackled serious topics about family, identity, music, culture, following your passion, and other similar themes in an extremely cohesive and touching fashion. Sporting excellent visuals, awesome music, and great characters, Coco is another home run for Pixar Studios. Alright, so next up is Best Fantasy, Action, or Sci-Fi Film. Now this is another loaded category because there were actually some pretty awesome films that fell under one of these 3 fairly broad genres. I'm a big fan of these type of films because they're exciting and more often than not they're popcorn flicks. They don't usually require intense thought, you just sit back and enjoy the excitement of it all. Let's take a look at our 5 nominees for Best Fantasy, Action, or Sci-Fi Film. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, John Wick Chapter 2, Logan, Star Wars The Last Jedi, and Wonder Woman. And the wheel goes to John Wick Chapter 2. You guys know about my love for the John Wick franchise, but ultimately I just felt that John Wick delivered the best experience of the films nominated tonight. The action is off the charts good and delivered some of the most thrilling scenes I've ever watched in a theater. It also helps that the music is excellent, Keanu Reeves is excellent, and the world building is also excellent. John Wick Chapter 2 went bigger and bolder, and it did exactly what a sequel should do. It's one of the best action films ever in my opinion. Next up on the schedule is Best Director. There were some really great directors to choose from for 2017 film, and this was another hard category to narrow down to 5 finalists. There were a lot of directors who did excellent work, and ultimately led the way in the creation of some excellent films. These directors led the way and brought a unique vision to life, and I'm happy to recognize them for their excellence tonight. Let's take a look at our 5 nominees for Best Director. Greta Gerwig, Lady Bird, Luca Guadagnino, Call Me By Your Name, Patty Jenkins, Wonder Woman, Martin McDonagh, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and Christopher Nolan, Dunkirk. And the wheel goes to Christopher Nolan. This is actually long overdue because Christopher Nolan continually proves himself to be an excellent director. His work in Dunkirk is well deserving of praise because of the sheer scope and sheer magnitude that the project demanded. All the extras, the way the film is shot both on the ground and in the sky, and the sheer massiveness of the project itself left me floored with how well he pulled this movie off. I felt so immersed into the frantic chaos of Dunkirk, and I gotta give props to Nolan for bringing such a difficult vision to life. Bravo, sir. Okay guys, so we're down to our final 3 categories of the evening. Time really flies when you're having fun, what can I say? Next up is Best Actors. The leading women nominated tonight all delivered great performances in their respective films, and they led the way in what ultimately proved to be some great and very dramatic movies. These 5 nominees all wowed me in their own unique ways, but bringing very special characters to life in their respective films. Let's take a look at our 5 nominees for Best Actress. Jessica Chastain, Molly's Game, McKenna Grace, Gifted, Frances McDormand, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Margot Robbie, I, Tonya, and Saoirse Ronan, Lady Bird. And the wheel goes to Margot Robbie, I, Tonya. This was a very tough category to pick a winner in, but I felt that Margot Robbie delivered the most memorable performance of the 5 nominees. Her work in I, Tonya was absolutely stellar and definitely the strongest work of her career. She and Allison Janney did most of the heavy lifting for this film and brought so much life to the movie through their lively and intense performances. Margot Robbie is well deserving of this award tonight, and I can't wait to see what she does next. Alright, so next up, you guessed it, Best Actor. There were a lot of great performances this year from our leading men as well, but these 5 actors nominated tonight all wowed me beyond the others. Each of these 5 delivered great, some actually career-best performances. Many of them transformed themselves into characters in a remarkable way, and I'm happy to recognize them for their excellence tonight. Let's take a look at the 5 nominees for Best Actor. Kenneth Branagh, Murder on the Orient Express. Timothée Chalamet, Call Me By Your Name. Daniel Day-Lewis, Phantom Thread. James Franco, The Disaster Artist. And Gary Oldman, Darkest Hour. And the wheel goes to Timothée Chalamet, Call Me By Your Name. To me, this came down to Timothée Chalamet and Daniel Day-Lewis, but ultimately I went with Timothée Chalamet because I just felt his performance was a little more dynamic. His portrayal was awesome and it made me really feel for and with Elio. I wanted things to work out for him, and I felt invested in his happiness and well-being. I think this is the type of well-rounded performance that wins you an Oscar. But even if not, he deserves this Will Award. He was excellent in Call Me By Your Name, and I can't wait to see what he does next as well. And finally, we've arrived at the biggest award of the night, Best Picture. Tonight we have 10 nominees, and let me tell you, this was incredibly difficult. Narrowing it down to 10 was hard enough, but picking a winner was even more difficult. There were a lot of great films this year across a number of different genres, and tonight we're here to recognize the best 10. Your 10 nominees for Best Picture are Call Me By Your Name, Coco, Dunkirk, Gifted, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, It, I, Tonya, John Wick Chapter 2, Murder on the Orient Express, and The Disaster Artist. And for the final award of the night, the wheel goes to, if I can get it open, It. I just couldn't change my pick. As you guys probably noticed, there were some different nominees than my top 10 of the year list I put out a while ago, but after some further thought, I just couldn't get away from it. It was the best experience I had in a theater in 2017 because it offered me what I hoped and so much more. It offered the scares and the tension, but it also offered excellent characters, comedy, and a story that just knows how to be more than a run-of-the-mill horror film. It is one of my favorite horror movies ever, and it is the best picture of 2017. Alright, so I just want to thank everyone for the continued support on the channel. It's been an honor to review movies for you guys, and I can't wait for what the future holds. As for this award show, I want to thank everyone who took the time to come out tonight and see the show. I appreciate that you made an attempt because a lot of the other celebrities just totally flaked on me. I appreciate that, and regardless, this is WillFoxification signing off. That's a wrap for the 2018 WillFoxification Movie Award Show.